What's up, foodies? Today we're making one of my favorite cozy fall time dishes, caramelized apple and leek risotto. This is one of those great dishes to make on a cool fall day that really warms you up. This video is sponsored by Community Natural Foods. They have provided me with some amazing produce for this comforting risotto. So let's get into it. Let's start by peeling and chopping our apple into small cubes, then trim and chop the fennel bulb, leaving the fronds of the fennel for later. So the little tops that look like dill. Then set your apple and fennel to the side for later. In a large skillet, heat 1 tablespoon of olive oil and 2 tablespoons of butter over medium heat, allowing the butter to melt and mix with the oil. Now add the chopped apples and fennel to the skillet, season generously with some kosher salt. Then stir to coat the pieces in butter and oil, and let them cook over medium heat for about 15 minutes. Stir occasionally, but not too often, as you want the apples and fennel to caramelize and develop a golden brown color. Keep an eye on it to prevent the apples and fennel from burning. Also, if your pan becomes too dry, add a splash of olive oil or a bit of butter. Once the apples and fennel are tender and golden brown, add 3 sprigs of thyme to the skillet. Then stir briefly to release the thyme's flavor, then deglaze the pan with adding a small splash of white wine. And use a wooden spoon to scrape up any of the brown bits stuck to the bottom of the skillet. I forgot to add the wine while I was filming this, got distracted with the camera. Usually tends to happen when you're filming and cooking at the same time. You miss some things, hey, we're not perfect, but it'll still come out great. And if you don't want to use wine to deglaze the pan, you can use some stock like chicken or vegetable. Once it's deglazed, set your mixture aside and keep it warm. I just wanted to quickly say, my new cookbook's out, foodies. Totally Greek, the Food-DEE Odyssey. Been working on this for a couple of years. This cookbook is inspired by my many travels through Greece. This book is bursting with delicious Greek recipes and beautiful photos, all taken by me, of course. Make sure you get a copy, links in the description below. Now let's get our risotto ready. Let's start by cleaning the leeks. Cut off and discard the dark green tops or save them for a stock. Cut the leek lengthwise, then make a quarter turn and slice it again, leaving the root attached. As you can see, leeks often have dirt and grit that get trapped between the layers. This is why it's so important you clean them thoroughly before cooking. Next, you want to spread the layers apart and gently pull them open. Hold the leek under running water and make sure to get between all the layers. This will help remove any dirt or grit that's been hiding inside the leek. This method allows you to easily spread the layers and rinse under running water to remove any hidden dirt or grit. Once the leek is clean, then thinly slice the white and light green parts of the leek. Now in a large heavy bottom pan, heat 2 tablespoons of olive oil over medium heat. Once the oil is hot, add the sliced leek and finely chopped onion, season generously with some kosher salt. Then saute for about 5 minutes, stirring occasionally. And you're going to cook this till the vegetables are soft and tender, but not browned. You're looking for your onions to become translucent, which means they've released their natural sugars. Now you're going to finely grate in 2 cloves of garlic. Then add in 1 cup of arborio rice or any short grain rice you have on hand. And if you don't have any rice and you have some barley on hand, that would be a great substitute as well. Stir the rice constantly for 2 to 3 minutes, letting it toast lightly. The rice should begin to look translucent around the edges with a small opaque center. This step is important as it helps the rice absorb the liquids more evenly. Now pour in half a cup of your favorite white wine and continue to stir. White wine should sizzle as it hits the hot pan. Stir continuously until the wine is almost completely absorbed by the rice. This deglazing process lifts any remaining bits of flavor from the pan and infuses it into the rice. Now begin adding stock to the rice, about 2 to 3 labels at a time. Always keep your stock warm while making risotto. Adding cold stock will shock the rice and slow down the cooking process, leading to uneven texture and a longer cooking time. Stir the mixture constantly to release the starches from the rice, which gives the risotto its creamy texture. Every time the liquid is almost absorbed, add a bit more broth. You'll know it's time to add more stock when you can make a trench in the rice and that holds its shape for a few seconds. This total process should take about 18 to 20 minutes. To make sure your risotto is cooked perfectly, taste it frequently towards the end of cooking. It should be al dente, which means it has a slight bite without it being too hard in the center. Once you add the last ladle of stock, stir in your caramelized apples and fennel mixture. Then continue cooking and stirring until the last ladle of stock is absorbed and the risotto is creamy, resembling the texture of loose oatmeal. Risotto is all about the right consistency. If your risotto is too thick, add a bit more stock or even a splash of warm water to loosen it up. The final dish should have a creamy, slightly loose texture. Turn off the heat and add 1 tablespoon of butter, then toss in 4 ounces of crumbled goat cheese, stirring until it's creamy and well combined. Then taste your risotto and adjust your seasoning with salt and pepper as needed. Now spoon the risotto onto a warm plate, creating a small mound in the center. The risotto should spread out slightly. And for an extra layer of flavor, add a bit more crumbled goat cheese to the top. Now top your risotto with a sprinkle of chopped fresh parsley or the fennel fronds from earlier for a pop of color and freshness. Then serve your risotto immediately while it's still hot and creamy. Risotto is best served fresh, but if you have leftovers, store them in an airtight container in the refrigerator. Leftover risotto can be used to make one of my favorite dishes, arancini. It's fried risotto balls for a delicious snack or appetizer, which I also have a recipe for in the description below. There is something truly comforting about a bowl of perfectly cooked risotto, especially when it's infused with the sweet and savory flavors of caramelized apples and fennel. Thanks for watching to the end. I hope you give this recipe a try. And if you liked the video, give a thumbs up, a subscribe down below, and until next time, foodie out.